personally, I see everything around myself, it's also like that, it's created. For me, for us, who, you know, like, who come here regularly. This is true for us, and today, whatever I'm trying to convey to you, it's a truth for me, which doesn't mean that it's truth for you. And whatever you like, you take with you. What you don't like, leave it behind. And if you have any challenging questions or something, please welcome. That's the best way to learn, to, you know, doubt and debate and things like that. Yeah. So that was one thing which kind of, you know, brought me the situation that I started to think about the, you know, about the creation. And the second thing was that I always thought, how come there is so much injustice in this world? Some people are born with everything in their life. People here in England say they are born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And some people don't have anything. So I have one small visualization for you, if you can just imagine now. You are 150 years ago, and you live in Eskimo land. And you are a little boy or little girl, maybe 9 years old, and the only thing which you know, 150 years ago there was no Twitter, no Yahoo, no Facebook, nothing. You know, hardly any electricity also in the igloos of Eskimos. So, and only what you know for these 9 years, it's a snow, igloos, and only what you can eat, it's some bears and fish, and maybe during the summer you can eat some moss or some grass or something, some special, you know, like vegetables. And when you need to go to the toilet, you have to go in the cold outside. And can you imagine, as an Eskimo 150 years ago, you have to take a shower or you have to take a bath, and there is no really proper, you know, like a heating, but there is just a fire going on. And only what you know, it's an environment of snow and cold. Of course, in the summertime could be also really beautiful. I personally love snow very much. And now, imagine 150 years ago, you're a little boy or little girl in Hawaii. And only what you know, it's the sun and beautiful breeze and fruits falling from the trees. You just come and pick them up. And when you need to go to wee or to poo, and when you need to take a shower or bath, you just jump in the sea. And only what you know, it's beautiful environment. And now the question is, if we live just one single life, how is that fair? That some people are born in one environment and some people are born in another environment. Some people are born wealthy, some people are born very poor. It's only one life. If there is no God, just one life. Why is it like that? Where is the justice in this life? Where is the meaning in this life? So there is many answers on that question. Depends who you ask and where you go. Are you going to the synagogue? Are you going to the mosque? Are you going to the temple? Are you talking with the humanists? Are you talking with different people? So it's something what you have to choose for yourself. What's the really, what you see as a logical answer to that question? Is it any question so far or any comment or something like that? Feel free please, to ask or to say. Would you like to ask some question? No? Yes.
I don't know, I kind of wonder, like, how do you do ceremonies up here in the temple, or
in the temple?
what is it actually, how do you practice your religion up here?
Good question. I'll answer the question. I just, you know, to see if any comment or question regarding what I just said so far. Yes, please.
So is the conclusion to what you just said is that
yes, please.
So is the conclusion to what you just said is that you value some places on earth as more valuable than others, because you kind of highlighted that living in a warm place is much better to those there.
No, but
people
it's
living
easier.
in a cold place, you would
It's not,
always prefer to be at a
no,
warm
no,
place.
no, no, no. Thank you, it's a good point. No, it's not a question of the value, but it's a question of where it's easier to live. It's much easier to live in Hawaii than it's, you know, like somewhere where we are constantly surrounded by ice. It's just you have to task your brain much more to bring yourself in the state of survival than someone who lives in Hawaii. But, you know, that's a question now, how Vedas explain it's a question of karma. There is a certain lesson which we need to learn. So this doesn't mean that those who live in Eskimo land are bad, you know, but we are put, for example, some of us are put in, you know, like in cold circumstances to learn some lesson.
Yeah.
Some they are put in, you know, warm circumstances to learn some lesson. We can, if we just use the logic, it's much easier to live in the warm environment of Hawaii than in the cold, you know, like environment of, you know, Eskimo land. Yeah. In that sense, just like as a comparison. It's a good comment. Thank you.
So do you believe that we are reincarnated in order for us to try at some point in our reincarnation to live easily, or?
Well, that's also a very good question. The point is that as a human beings, we have to use that ability about that we can think about meaning of life according to Vedas, today from the Vedic point of view, to ask these questions and put the God in the center of our life. And, you know, like as many of you said about karma and reincarnation, actually we have to, this is called that circle of birth and death, it's called samsara. So the point of life is to come out from that circle of birth and death by practicing meditation, by putting God in the center of our life, but actually who is really in the center of our life are other living beings. But because without respecting other living beings, how we can say we are respecting and loving God? So it's to come out from there, because this doesn't mean, for example, if we are in the warmer environment, it's much easier to practice any spiritual practice, because you don't need to worry so much about survival. Yeah? So you are put in such a situation in which you can easily say, okay, wow, look at this beauty around me, probably it's coming from somewhere, let's be grateful and thankful and try to see to whom I can be grateful and thankful. Maybe it's not God, but it's some creator or nature, or it's a question of attitude of thankfulness and gratefulness. For some people it's God, for some other people it's energy, but it's like as a human beings we have to develop that attitude of mindfulness, that we are mindful that we are not alone in this world, that this world has been existing for a long time and is going to exist for, again, very long time. Good question. Is that answering your question? Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? But it's very good point which you raise up here, because karma is something. Anyone? Do you have in Denmark program which is called My Name is Earl? Yeah. So you remember My Name is Earl? He's all the time chasing karma, isn't it? He made a whole list of the bad things which he did, and he wants to undo them. But in this process of undoing them, he's actually creating more karma, good or bad. But actually, we are all combination of the good and the bad karma, which doesn't mean which doesn't mean, you know, like that someone who has bad karma that is a bad person, or someone who has a good karma that is a good person. It's considered that some people who are very intelligent, very beautiful, very rich, famous, and those who have, you know, like position are considered that they have good karma. But it's not a question of oh, today I have good karma, but what I'm doing with that good karma. So, can you think, some of you, can you think of a person who you think has or had a good karma, but misused it really, really badly? Historically.